So, Day of the Dead, episode 9 and 10. We are done with this show, and I'd like to apologize for the both of us. We were having fun with this show, and then, like the majority of the humans in this show, it slowly started to rot and die off. This last episode, I don't even have much to say about the 9th episode. We watched it yesterday, I want to say. We didn't even get to it for a while because we just got busy. But man, I mean, realistically, it really just comes down to like the doctor ended up dying to save them, which I didn't think was going to happen. I thought for sure he was going to somehow survive that, or they were going to walk away, he was going to get up, or he was going to be a zombie or something, but
no,
he just dies.
Yeah.
But really mostly what I'd like to talk about, because I don't even give a fuck now. I don't care about what all happened. The doctor died, all that stuff. We could get into that. I don't care. Okay, this last episode really just fucking was like, we ran out of budget and fucks to give. Like, that's really just what it felt like to me. There was so many moments where I just kept looking over at Kaylee and being like,
wait, how did they
why
get
the
there?
fuck did
What's
this? Why are they
what's
doing
happening?
this? What is happening now with this thing?
It was very, disjointed feeling.
100%.
And there was a lot of times where it was like, did we miss a scene? Like, did I look down and something
100.
happened? But it's just like, no, they just jump over to a totally like what you were expecting to happen, but it's like there was a middle part missing.
Like, we straight up missed somehow them taking Rhodes out and getting him incapacitated so they could tie him to the back of a tow truck and all of that.
And I wonder, because we watch it on Sci-Fi and there's ads that just kind of happen. But I also was thinking maybe the ads are cutting something off, or because
it cut a couple fucks out of the show, but then left other ones in, so it was bleeping certain fucks but not others.
Super weird.
Super weird. Super weird.
Super weird, but the logic is also really...
It's just gone. It's just... Okay, so it went from this entire town is just overrun by zombies, right? But then they get in the back of this tow truck, with Rhodes tied to the back of the truck because he needs to be bait, even though they're both standing in the back and could just yell. But they just wanted to use him. I mean, they could have just killed him, but whatever. They're just using him as bait. Fine. But anyway, they start driving him down the road at 1 mile per hour. Remember that, okay? Because these are slow zombies. We're not into fucking Black Summer or Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead or, fucking 28 Days Later or any of the fast zombies.
Slow.
Right, these are but of course in these shows it's always depends on the scene. Sometimes they're just on them somehow. But then in other scenes, it's they're a mile back forever. So I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. So they're driving this thing slowly down the street, and then one of the kids, I don't even remember anyone's names, and I'm not even going to bother caring to fucking remember, but one of the kids, the ones whose dad is Bub, he falls off the truck after him and his little mortician girlfriend finally kiss. And she can't see him disappear into the zombies, even though there's only 3 of them. Maybe 7 at best. I'm not exaggerating. And somehow he doesn't yell out to her hey, I'm over here, or just, I don't know, run around the 4 zombies that are standing there and just jump back onto the truck. Where did he go? And how didn't they see where he went?
Yeah.
And why wouldn't he come back? And that shit was huh?
So, yeah.
Honestly, what I feel really held this episode back, there's a lot of things, but one thing is I genuinely feel the budget killed them in the sense that they couldn't get zombie actors to fill up the blank spots where there's supposed to be. So what's supposed to be happening here is they're luring every zombie in all of the town, somehow they know they're successful.
Or as many as possible.
As many as possible.
Yeah. So they are supposed to be luring as many as possible zombies into these caves so that they can cause a cave-in. I thought they were going to explode them, like blow them up.
Yeah.
But they just want to cause a cave-in. But
to trap them inside.
I think the soldiers are supposed to have taken out a lot of the zombies already. And 2, the ex-Marine girl is like, well, that should be most of them, and the rest of them will be easy enough for us to, like, deal with.
How big is this
Which
town?
Doesn't make sense, though, because it's in the water, so anybody that, like, if there's even, like, anyone that's around the zombies that are alive, like, if they get killed,
yeah,
they're gonna come back as a zombie. Like, it doesn't really end the problem.
Yeah.
You know, in any way. I don't know how big the town is. I think it's supposed to be a smallish
pretty fucking big town.
But it is pretty big.
It's a pretty big town. From the aerial shots that we get, it's a pretty big town. This is a pretty big election. So to me, just driving down the street in like 1 block, driving 1 mile per hour with a dude yelling out like he's strapped to the back of a fucking truck like in Mad Max or something. I'm not buying that they're getting all the zombies, not even close. And their plan is just shit altogether, and they're not selling me on this town is overrun by zombies. There's legitimately 20.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 15 to 20 zombies, which you guys have machine guns. Mm-hmm. You have a crack shot that can hit like a guy from 500 yards and, win without a scope or whatever. Mm-hmm. She talks about this. By the way, no one ever aims for the head in this entire show. No one ever brings up headshots in this entire show. And I don't think anyone ever shoots anyone in the head, maybe outside of like a couple fucking zombies.
Accidental.
And multiple zombies. We see that the cop chick, she's just shot in the chest and she dies.
Right.
So these zombies do not require headshots, but other zombies get shot a bunch and don't die. So that's super inconsistent in this show.
I don't know what the parameters are for killing the zombies, because you even mentioned, well, maybe they're still alive in some sense, like not just undead.
Yeah.
But maybe they're actually alive,
like
and
28 days later.
And that's why they can be killed, not with a headshot. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on with all of that. Just that this whole episode, I felt very like, we were enjoying the show up until this episode, and maybe even a little bit in the last episode, but we kept talking about how consistent it was, and feeling like, okay, it's not like fantastic, but it's not awful, and there's some good parts to it.
Yes.
But this episode I felt really gypped and like really disappointed, and just like you said, it was rushed for budget issues is really what it felt like. But then at the same time, it's also a setup for a season 2.
Yeah.
Which I don't have any interest in watching.
None.
Because of this. Like,
none.
If it had just been consistent with the rest of the episodes, and I don't know how I could, I wouldn't have had them try and lure all the zombies to one spot. I feel like that's, because it doesn't make any sense to do a cave-in when they're like, nobody's gonna find them, and the whole reason that this starts is because they like cause a cave-in and find a zombie that's been chained up down there. Like, that's not going to happen with these people.
And the person whose plan this is the person who was the one who dug it up.
Which,
in the first place.
Maybe this is some giant metaphor for like fracking and environmentalism. Like, they're burying their problem to let the future generations deal with it. But I don't think that was what the plan is. But yeah, like, this is the girl that literally was the one that found it, and that was her plan.
And here, it's so funny too when they have the whole moment where, they find out that she like was the reason all of this started, and it's like she was working on a job. They found a dead body. She called the police. Mm-hmm. The police came to investigate it, and it was the police who brought this out into the world. And they're like pissed there. He's like, "You got my dad killed. Your dad is a cop who was responding to a fucking dead body."
Yeah.
How is this her fault?
Not her fault.
Everybody would call the cops if they found a dead body. That's what you do. If you find a dead body, you fuck it first, then you call the police.
No, not the first one. Just the second one.
Oh, you call the police, then you fuck it.
No.
When do you fuck it?
You don't. I'm sorry to tell you.
How many dead bodies have you fucked?
None.
That you found?
I have none. Have you fucked? Have I found none? What about you? I don't want to know. Never mind.
Hey, don't slut shame me for my numbers.
How many dead bodies have you got?
Anyway, but this whole plan is just pure asinine nonsense. Like, now, okay, the one good thing about this last episode here is the gore on Rhodes' body as he's being torn apart, which of course is an homage, or just a straight up plagiarism of Rhodes' death in the original Day of the Dead. This show does stay one day throughout, all the way up until the end, where night has finally fallen upon us, and it is Night of the Living Dead.
Oh boy!
But yeah, we get the doctor here. She goes and tries to save this kid, her kid.
Her kid, her daughter.
Her daughter, yeah. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't work, but then it does. And so she's willing to sacrifice. She has zero testing. She knows what this does. It brings people back as zombies. Right. I guess she just doesn't care. Like, my kid's alive. Maybe I'll figure it out later.
Reverse it to a manageable zombie level.
Sure.
Later on.
So, Dr. Frankenstein thinks she can reverse this, but she's just going to plug her kid with it now and figure it out later. Right? Just put a little fucking bookmark in this and get back to it.
Right.
But yeah, they lure these zombies to this cave. The girl runs in, the ex-Marine runs in, or whatever she was. She runs in because she's going to sacrifice herself. Then the bride and the mortician girl run in after her. This is... I don't know what the dumbest thing in this is, but I'm going to go out and say this might be the dumbest thing in the entire show. These girls run in to find her to then bring in a gun so they all three can just shoot themselves. What is this? What is this? They ran in with no plan to actually help her out. No. It's just... Here, we brought a gun, let's all three kill ourselves. The whole point of this plan is so that she's the sacrifice, so that only one of them will die, and that they will stop this from happening. It's not like they live in the zombie apocalypse yet, right? They're stopping the zombie apocalypse. They think there's hope. They think that this is going to possibly be the end of it, right? So this is where you'd want to survive. There'd be no reason to be like, it's too late. This is not the kind of world I want to live in. I'm just going to kill myself. Yes, the bride is dealing with the fact that she lost her husband. But she could have been like, hey, I want to die. Let me run in. Sure. Right? But no, the plan is, let's just run in and let's all execute ourselves. They don't say like, hey, wait. They don't. See, what would have made sense is like, we'll help her. Then they go in, they try to help her. And things go sideways, and they're kind of pinned, and they're like, well, fuck, I guess we have to kill ourselves. And then one of them's like, no, we gotta stick this out. We can make it, whatever. That would make sense. But they just run in, and they're like, hey, we're here. Let's kill ourselves. What the fuck is that scene? What is that scene? And then all they do is they hide behind a little wall. The zombies walk past them. Which is what the fucking plan should have been in the first fucking place. Then they just take off running. The mayor's out there with a gun trained on this freaking suicide button. Because it's a suicide button, right? So you have to stand next to it to blow it up. So you think, like, in that moment, oh, one of them's going to have to fucking, Bruce Willis Armageddon this shit. He's going to have to stay behind with the detonator and kill himself. Nope, she's just going to shoot the fucking thing. Which, who knows if that would actually work. That seems like something for Mythbusters. Which probably wouldn't work.
I don't think it would, but she makes it work.
She makes it work.
Run out.
Yeah. And they run out. Okay. God. So, we have already established, I already put a bookmark in it earlier, that they were driving 1 mile per hour and the zombies could not keep up with them.
Right.
They go deep into the cave. They turn around and they retreat. And follow their footsteps back out, and then one of them tries to grab the leg, and you think, whatever, it doesn't matter, kicks it off, then they run out, and then we have to have this big moment where they blow it up, and they jump, and the explosion happens behind them, and they just missed it by a fraction of an inch, and all this bullshit. The zombies are a mile back. They're a mile fucking back. They're walking like this. They were running for 30 full fucking seconds as people are walking like this. Why'd they blow it up right as they walk out?
Right.
Why?
They could have waited like 10 more seconds even and been fine. Or longer.
They could have ran for about 15 seconds and then just slowly strolled out. I get it's for drama, but it doesn't make any sense.
I know.
It is so dumb. It's a slap in the face of whoever stuck out this show, because we were defending this show.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, people should watch it. I'll tell you this for sure, and I know you will agree 100%. If this last episode was the quality, if the first episode was the quality of this episode, there's no way we would have continued to episode 2, and I would have 100% agreed with the 4.5 rating, or whatever it was lower. I think it was like a 4.2 at that point, and I would have been like 100%, this is shit, and we would never have ever even reviewed a single episode. We would have been like, wow, that was a waste of our time, and that would have been that. But it started off as entertaining and fun, and I was like, oh, it's not good. It's just entertaining. It's silly. Whatever. It's worth a watch just to kind of pass the time. Not in the end, man. Not in the end. It really started to lose steam.
So bad.
So let's hope this does not get a second season. If it does, we're not watching it or covering it on the channel. I don't think. I hope not.
Unless it's like 8 stars, 10 stars. Like really good ratings, and it's improved so much, but I don't see that happening. And I also don't really see it getting a second season. So
no, 0 chance.
Just set it up for one.
0.1% chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say about this episode outside of those few little gripes that I was just sitting there like, this is so stupid. And there's more, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, there's a ton.
I just don't care.
I don't even want to go into it.
Which is a shame.
It is.
I was like, all right, like I'm gonna, as usual, we pay attention. We're trying to like, have things to talk about and be like, oh, this happened and this closed off this part of this person's story and this set up something for the next season and this is. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck when you slap your audience across the face and just say like, we don't give a shit. Why should we bother? Right. Why should we bother? This is such lazy writing. This is such garbage.
Yes.
This last episode. And, I want to point something out. We've covered a couple shows on here now. Chucky being an exemption from this. But we've covered a few shows. And we were into it in the beginning. And really, tapered off and ended up really disliking the last episode. That's honestly not us. So I don't want to give this impression that we're some hardcore critics that like no show's ending ever lands with us or works. That's not the case.
No, not
it just
at
so
all.
happens that this was terrible.
Yes.
This was a terrible last episode.
It was. I agree. And yeah, we definitely don't, have this super critical attitude towards endings of shows. There's plenty that we've enjoyed. Even shows that we've watched separately. But yeah, this one makes it not really worth watching the other episodes at all.
Should have reviewed Lock and Key when we watched it. Because that was really good.
That's a really good show that you should totally watch if you haven't yet.
Yeah, or Black Summer, we might do season 2 here. We're in the middle of watching it right now, which is way better than this show.
So much better.
So much
It's
better.
so cool.
Yeah.
Definitely check that out.
Yeah, but fuck, this was rough. I feel like I talked a lot in this one and let you say much. I apologize.
Oh, it's okay.
I was just really angry.
Yeah, no. I understand, and I felt the same way. I was yawning a couple times this time because you were boring. It's just because it's like 1 a.m.
It's like I'm so bored of being interrupted.
No, not at all. I agree with everything you're saying, and just like you said, I guess I just don't really want to spend too much time talking and like nitpicking.
So much so, bye. Bye.
Bye.